Okay, so welcome everybody. I really appreciate you coming out. I'm Dr. Sage Wolfe. I've been working for the International Training Institute of Health for the past decade. And I've been teaching Wolfe Non-Surgical for about 7 years. And what I do is we go in and we work scar tissue crystallization and calcification that's built up around joints, ligaments, muscle tissue, and adipose tissue. And we lovingly, I will push you, but we lovingly take that tissue apart to bring in healthy blood and lymph flow. And I'll get into that once we just take some ground questions before we get started. So what would you like to say? Sorry.
I was going to ask you, like yesterday, you worked in my lower back and so Debbie.
Yes.
And I didn't bruise, so is that tell you if you don't bruise, you're not as toxic?
Is it tender to touch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so very tender to touch. So we know there's toxicity in the tissue, but also we took you to the hardest gym training you've ever had. But we, instead of contracting the tissue and tearing it in that kind of sense, we're opening it up. And so you didn't visibly bruise. So it shows that your tissue is not kind of disintegrating. Because if I walk up and if I like brush past a table and I hit a table, or I wake up in the morning and I'm kind of like miscolored and I'm like, why am I getting all this discoloration? It's like an overripe piece of fruit. It's starting to go bad. Like when you see a moldy piece of fruit, that doesn't look super appetizing. When you see like a nice piece of fruit with like fresh rain on it, it's like, wow, that really makes me hungry. That's what so your tissue is more so on the calcified side. So we had to push really hard yesterday to kind of break it down, and you could tolerate quite a bit of pressure. And so that's showing you've damaged your low back. And it's not that you're really unhealthy. You're actually in decent shape. It's just you've done a lot of physical damage to your bodies, but you didn't really know how to heal properly. And some of those times, because we talked about your situation, some of those times when you would injure yourself, you weren't in the most parasympathetic state. You were going to rumbling, and you were doing your jujitsu, but you were going there and you were kind of getting pissed off, and it said you were like, how do I go? Because you were going sometimes out of anger. We go out of love, and like even if you kind of got injured, I love making this analogy because it makes such sense. The 7-year-old boy goes to school, breaks his arm. He gets a cast. He's so excited to get that cast. His body is wanting to heal. He's in a parasympathetic state. He's like, sign my cast. Yeah, sure, it was a traumatic situation when I broke my arm. But as soon as I got that cast, they gave me a lollipop. I went to my friend's house that night. I'm smiling, I'm happy. I go to school the next day. I got a cool colored cast. They're signing my cast. I'm in a healing state now. My body is releasing dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. I'm relaxed. And also, kids are such a fresh being that their body wants to heal the area. It still has the nutrients, the minerals to actually heal that bone. That's why when you break a bone and you're a young kid, the doctors, don't worry, it's going to be stronger than when they broke it. But now that I'm aging, and now that I'm letting my body start to deteriorate a little bit, we don't put the right proper nutrients into it. I'm way too dehydrated, so I have like adipose tissue. Instead of things like getting damaged, you're ripping, you're tearing, you're breaking. And now I'm in an acidic state because I'm pissed off that I can't walk and I can't go to work for the next 2 weeks. And so as we're adults, we're not happy that we got injured. And you know what? That's a weird thing to say, but the kid was happy. It was cool to him. It was an experience. Now that I got injured as an adult, it just totally debilitated me. I'm so angry, and I'm going to continue to be angry for the next 2 weeks. Then your wife comes home, and then your wife yells at you, and now I'm even more angry, releasing more histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. That pisses me off. So now I'm going to go to the refrigerator and grab a beer, have a couple beers. So now I'm going to throw a bunch of inflammatory liquids into my body. That's not putting me in a healing state at all. So calcification, you're calcified. You've damaged the tissue. You've had some toxicity in your body, but you had to mend the areas that were damaged, and so you had an excess amount of scar tissue lay up. So you probably have a little bit of bone density loss, but it's probably not majorly severe because you're adamant about what you put into your body nowadays, and you're really mindful. And so you're not the person who plays the victim game all day and says, the world screwed me doing this, that race I don't like, that person I don't like because they're gay, that constant negativity, and then I'm going to just feed myself with what I see out in front of me every single day. So I'm going to put in McDonald's. Oh, you know what? Having alcohol a couple times a week with my friends is okay. Not drinking any water today, and you know what? 2 glasses of coffee in the morning. You're in such an acidic state. Where's the nutrients ever coming into your muscle tissue? Where's the nutrients ever getting absorbed into the cells? There isn't much. And so when you start bruising like that, I know that it's toxic tissue. You have healthy tissue because you've stayed active. You've been mindful about what you put in. Sure, you're not perfect, but nobody is. And so it's calcification over like bruised tissue. So it's going to be more toxic tissue over damaged tissue. Any other great questions? Welcome. So how does scar tissue happen in the body? So we're going to go over that. So just picture my fingers. Yes, we have tons of more ligaments, tendons, and muscle fibers in here. But this is what healthy connective tissue should look like. And then over time, I don't hydrate properly. I lack nutrients. My tissue starts to kind of harden and get tough. I live in contraction and I put myself into that acidic state. So I'm shouldering up, I'm angry, I'm not releasing that dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin to put me in that parasympathetic state. So now I'm an acidic person, sure. I go about my day. Our bodies are meant to break down. There's no way you can get through this life being 100% perfect. You can get through this life feeling like lively, feeling rejuvenated, feeling like your limitations aren't limiting you anymore because we're focusing in the right areas. But if I'm not focused on keeping, guys, we're 2%, if that, the physical. Everything else is energy. So what kind of energy am I putting into this physical? And this is what I actually want to try to keep around on this plane as long as possible. Unless you don't like this time, and then maybe go do another one. And so, but if I really like this time, I want to try to treat this vessel as good as possible because I only get kind of one piece of each. It's not like I get a redo, and your redo is going to be a foreign object, and that foreign object is going to get rejected by the body because your cell structure is not in that foreign object. So what happens? I'm going about my daily life. I just am the average person. I go to work, I'm living my life, I get stressed out here and there, I eat the average diet, so pretty inflammatory. I don't hydrate enough because most people, they don't realize the average woman should have 3 to 3.5 a day, average man should have 3.5 to 4. And if you're doing strenuous exercises or movements or getting out there and sweating quite a bit, you need even more because there's only 3 ways your lymph system can move, and that's sweating, peeing, and pooing. So if you're not peeing well, your lymph is backed up a bit. If you're not pooping well, your lymph is backed up a bit. And if you're not sweating at all, you know your lymph is backed up a bit. And so I go about my day, and I have a pretty hard job, and I fell on my job as I was lifting a rock, and I tore some tissue. And so as I tore that tissue, I just kind of felt like it was a little irritated. Now I have to send fibrin to the area because fibrin is going to help mend that tissue together. Not just fibrin will go though, also calcium will go if you have calcium in your body. But if you don't have the right amount of calcium in your body, you're going to be actually taking calcium from where we can, and that's going to be your bone density. Why is osteoporosis and osteopenia so big today? And so I tore that area. It's not the problem that we send fibrin to the area. We want our body to heal. It's not the problem that we send calcium to the area. We want our body to heal. But no, I'm not in that parasympathetic state. My wife really pissed me off today. And so now I'm releasing that histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol that's actually binding that fibrin and that lactic and uric acid that's hanging out in here. It's like if you go to the gym. You go to the gym and work out really hard, you kind of feel sore the next day. We created lactic and uric acid. So now that fibrin's in the area with that lactic and uric acid, then you release that histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, and it actually binds it up, and it actually will coagulate it. And so now it's getting tough tissue, and then you can layer on top of layer that tissue. So normally it starts with crystallization because you did micro tears. And then that crystallization can get torn over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, I have a mass. Why do I feel like I have a chunk in here? Because that chunk is now bound up actually old healthy connective tissue and displaced calcium, scar tissue, and just regular toxicity from what we're putting into our bodies. So we have to open that up lovingly. But if you leave that go for so long and I come in and it's weird, it feels like there's a vertebrae on top of your vertebrae. That's going to be displaced calcium. You've let it go for so long and so bad that it is hardened to technically bone, because it is bone. What is calcium? And so we need to be mindful of our ailments. If you've been doing so much for so long, and I noticed my hip bugged me, and I tried to push through it for so long, and it doesn't bug you anymore, that's when we're on the cusp of something bad really happening. because pain is your friend. It has been, your body has thousands, millions, trillions of cells that are your alarm systems. And so, how many times did you have a stomach ache? How many times did you wake up and feel really tight and the kidney area was hurting, and then you moved, and as you kind of moved throughout the day, it started to go away? There's all these little things that we are letting go, and we're not realizing I need to focus on where my pain is, because that is my friend. Because if I feel pain somewhere, we need to address it. You leave it go too long and too strong, your body will slowly mask it off until it's like a house on fire, and then you are on fire. And so that's going to be really important to do. So it's kind of like the levels it's at. It's like crystallization, scar tissue formation, and then you have calcification. So do we have any questions on scar tissue and how it forms in the body? So now we have emotions and how emotions can get attached to that. I can go out with my wife, and 2 weeks ago I got in a motorcycle accident. So I'm still healing from that trauma. I go out with my wife, we get in a big fight, we're not talking right now. I'm emotionally stressed out. Am I a bad guy? I'm bringing my vibration down. As your body is healing, and this is me talking about something light. This can go from something light to something as severe as molestation. So it really depends on the trauma that somebody's been through. And you're never, when I'm a practitioner and I'm training people and I'm treating people, I'm never going to compare somebody's trauma to another's. Because I could look at her and I'd be like, that's traumatic. To her, that was one of the worst things that she's ever been through. So you have no say. And so we just have to come in as spiritual beings that, like, my trauma is different than yours. How I took it on was different from me. But yeah, like I was saying, I got in a big fight with my wife, and then I go home, and as that tissue integrity is trying to heal, and I'm trying to put that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins into the area and actually mend that tissue in a proper way, because I know it's going to have some scar tissue in the area. You can't break something and not have a little bit of excess buildup. Our bodies want to heal. And so if I'm releasing that histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, now when I have somebody go in and I get that opened up, it's not just painful. It's like I'm reacting weird. I'm feeling these, like, I'm getting angry. Because we can relive that trauma as we're resurfacing what was tied in as we were healing from whatever ailment or injury we caused. So that's going to be kind of what it's like with dealing with scar tissue. And we got to be like mindful practitioners. I will always work on anybody's ailment, but I am not looking at them as a piece. That is not one piece that is broken on their body. They are kind of broken on many different areas and it's not broken. Because when things are broken, sometimes it's hard to fix. We are literally just, how can I say this in a loving way? We are dumbed down by looking at the outside world. Trying to make my parents happy, trying to make your family happy, your spouse. If you are living your life and you feel like the life you're living is as good as it gets and you're hanging around the same people all the time, you need to leave. You need to remove yourself from that. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? The people in your life are only going to hold you back because they're afraid of your progression, because they don't want to be left in the dust. But then you know what? You're going to leave them regardless because you're going to grow past it. A really great analogy. I can't remember the speaker, but it's like some people are meant to be in our life for only a season. It's like a rocket ship. You see on the sides of rocket ship, there's boosters. You know what? Some people are meant to boost my motivation and get me to where I'm going. But some people aren't ready for that altitude of where I'm going. So they're going to need to branch off at some point. And so you really need to be okay with letting people go. Because people are going to come into your life and walk out that you feel like should have stayed there forever. People are going to pass that you don't want passing. How are you going to take it? Do you think that person is really going to care in 6 months, 6 years, 10 years, maybe even a day? Why do you? And so we need to have that love for ourselves, for you can learn to take a step back, observe the situation you're in, and say, no more of this. I'm not going to allow you to poison what I want. I feel love for myself, and I want to feel good about me every day. So if you feel like you're in a situation that you're in where you're releasing this acidity, because it's like, can anybody here right now just stop and it's like you can do prayer, you can do meditation, you can go for a walk. Like, what is it to you? And people say oh, empty your mind. What does that mean? It's impossible. So the only thing that you should be trying to do during meditation is think of one thing. Like I remember when I would be young and because I've been brought up around health all my life. So I would go to yoga classes with my family and do this. And so it's think of nothing. My mind would immediately be what does that mean? So I would think of the word nothing and just the letters within it and just the structure of the nothing, because then I'm thinking of only one thing. That is pure meditation. Think of the color blue. Think of the color black. Think of whatever you want. Make it one specific thing. Focus on an area if you can't, and just be like blinds. I'm looking at the blinds. I'm looking at the blinds. Or just focusing only on your breath. You need to allow yourself to disconnect to all that noise and just be actually in a present moment. And that's by me thinking of, it seems so mindless, but think of just one thing. So what we do with Wolfe Non-Surgical, we deal with all ailments. There's nothing I want to say that the body can't heal itself if it has the right tools. And so we will deal with anything from neck issues to low back issues to endometriosis, hysterectomies, double mastectomy. It doesn't matter. It's issues in your tissues. What causes more scar tissue than anything else in the whole body? Beautiful, thank you. So surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else in the whole body. But also, what causes even more scar tissue than injuries? Stress. Yeah. And so your emotional state is 90% of who you are. The physical is 10, and that's me giving quite a bit to the physical. And so, in general, where was I at with this? So scar tissue is... It's stress is what's going to be, but then surgery is going to be the number one cause of scar tissue rooting in and growing and choking things off. And so it's why do I leak urine? Why am I having a hard time getting erection? Why do I get tingling in my hands? Why am I hearing ringing in my ears? Why are my feet going numb? My hands are always cold. What are all these symptoms, guys? It's issues in your tissues. We got to look into the body as a whole. Like I said, I don't care if it's their shoulder issue. What happened? Nothing happened. And so why do they have an issue? What have they been eating? How have they been drinking? Where is their mental state at? Once we've taken a look at that, then we want to go in with the non-surgical work. And you know what? If it's that severe and you've done nothing to injure it, damage it, whatever, I know it probably started in the gut. And people are I had a person come on the other day and they were that's just absurd. Plantar fasciitis caused by the gut. Gravity pulls things down. We have blood flow everywhere. All my cells are communicating and talking to each other. Where is my immune system lying? In my gut. It's my large intestine. Small intestine is part of the immune system, and then I have all my larger major organs for filtration, for helping balance out blood sugar levels, all that great stuff. But my immune system is in the large intestine. And you can damage it a bit. That's what life is for. Life is to have fun. But man, you really like to damage it a bit. Every day, day in, day out, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. What the heck is this? That's not a thing. You need to eat pretty fresh and raw. It needs to be 80% fresh and raw. If you're working really hard and doing strenuous things, sure, get a bit of meat into you, but it better be free-range organic, but don't just be free-range from the grocery store, because it was free-range, but right before it gets butchered, they go on to grain. And so it's technically, you want to go to a local butcher or something like that if you're putting meat into your body. And so really just know where you're getting your stuff from. And I don't care if you eat vegan or whatever. If you're buying stuff in packages, please just look at the labels. There is so much stuff, bad stuff, that's supposed to be in good stuff now. So you don't really know. Everything is we're supposed to be duped. We're all meant to be duped and just follow in line. And so we deal with everything. And so with surgeries, surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else. We go in with our elbow, and I do it in all the major cities I go to. I'll go around to a couple of the practices. I'll go for a massage normally. I'll go for a shiatsu session. I'll go for a Reiki session to see what I'm kind of competing with. And normally it's not much. And so it feels good. The stuff feels good. Some of it is going to help. We're bringing circulation to different areas. Acupuncture, we're opening up pathways. Chiropractic, you're adjusting. But did you remove the scar tissue that caused the problem in the first place? No. Did we at least buffer down the inflammation that caused the problem in the first place? No. So why did we not look at the body as a whole? That's the main thing. And so we go in lovingly, and it's not like any other technique that you can get taught out there. It's a specific technique where we slowly and lovingly, and I will push you depending on the client, but I work to your pain threshold. We never really jump past it too much. And we lovingly pull that tissue apart to bring healthy blood and lymph flow to the area while my client is on a really perfect day diet that is for them. Everyone's different. Some people are like, oh, I'm going to do a 24-hour fast. And I'm looking at the person, I'm like, you could technically do a 10-day fast. And then I have a person who's like, I want to do a 15-day fast. And I'm like, you got not much on you. We can only do 3 to 6 day fast, and we're going to do that multiple times. See, we have to be adjustable for our clients. Because when you're fasting, such beautiful things happen with fasting. Fasting, I just want to touch on it like very minimally. So like 24 hours, we go into ketosis. Ketosis, we start creating those ketones. We're eating those fat cells up now. Now, once we hit about 35-ish hours, we're heading into autophagy. And then so when we're in autophagy, our cells are actually focused on cleaning themselves out. Any kind of like malnourished, like radical cells, our body's going to start filtering that out. Once we kind of pass the 40 to 42 hour mark, we start creating HGH in the body. And then that's also amazing. After we pass the 50-hour mark, our brain starts firing off synapses, and then we actually are starting to be like, wow, my brain fog's going away, I'm thinking clearer. So like once you're about 2.5 days into a fast, that's when you're going to notice like you're really on it. And then once we pass the 3-day mark, we are creating new stem cells. Depending on the person, we need to elongate that. Some people, you're going to shorten that because it depends on the body and how much they're ready to release. So back onto non-surgical. So we deal with everything from A to Z. We're going to go in lovingly and we're going to touch on your joints. If it's an area that's calcified, we're going to need to plow and really kind of push the area because it's bone that you've created. If it's crystallization and just a little bit of adipose tissue, I'm opening up the muscle belly, following along the fibers to bring healthy blood flow to restructure that tissue. So that's kind of what I would do with that. And then I touched on the emotional aspect. So in general, like I'm out here in Stuart, Florida right now. We do courses all around the world, and I am here 100% for my practitioners, and I think all my practitioners are absolutely amazing. And they all have a different essence, like to the technique that they give, but we all kind of do the same structure. But every practitioner is different, and so you got to find the practitioner that vibrates towards you. And you're going to want to work with them as a whole. If you're a client who just wants to get the work done, that's fantastic. We can totally help you take your power back, and that's what we want. But what I want to do is I want at least 1 or 2 non-surgical practitioners in every city in the world, because people need this. People need to not feel limited, and you can't just rub the muscle belly to soften it. You can only do so much with that. I can bring blood flow in, I can soften some tissue off. Doing the chiropractic, we're adjusting it, but you didn't remove the bound ice chunks, and so you're kind of actually doing, some people after chiropractics can feel a little worse because they're breaking the ice without actually opening up the tissue, and it's too dehydrated that they're doing micro tears and creating more scar tissue. And so it's kind of like the domino effect of unhealthy healing. Until we awaken, guys, it's about like, let's pull the blinders off, know that the world is trying to kind of confuse us a little bit and everything is a little ass backwards. And so we need to be headstrong, stay in your breath. If you're not too sure, always get a second opinion and do your own research and go by your gut, because your instinct is going to be probably more right than the other person's. So that was me touching on Wolfe Non-Surgical. Do we have any questions on that before I hand it off to these lovely ladies and they go over the pelvic restoration? Yes?
On a calcium, I can say, it brings calcium to the injured area and it takes away from your bones if you don't have enough. Now, if you go get like a bone density test, is that a true statement or do you think that's a question?
Oh, no. It's a true statement, for sure. For sure. We have bone density scanners in Ixtapa. I would say out of me living in Mexico and working out of that clinic, out of maybe the 1,000 bone density scans I saw done, probably 4 people were in the good range. So we know that we live in an acidic state nowadays. And we know that we all kind of run around being a little bit on fire, thinking that everything's a 911 emergency and that, oh, I got to do this and get that done and this. And you know what? Life can be hectic, but why don't you enjoy it? And that's, I compare it all the time, and I love little analogies. I'll give you guys $10 million, but if I give you the $10 million, you can't wake up tomorrow. What would you prefer? That's exactly it. So why aren't you treating every single day like you're worth $10 million?
So when you're pulling the calcium, where does it go?
So when you're what?
When you pull the calcium out of the tissue,
So
where does it go?
that's the thing. This is where you got it with your clients. Go into the diet. Go into the mentality. Because what if I just do a bunch of non-surgical on that person, they go out and they're partying, they're eating really inflammatory, they're getting in fights. That's not going to the right area. We are actually not healing at that moment. We would be bringing toxicity to the tissue, so it's not going to recover in a healthy state. They're probably going to get relief from the treatment, but give them 4 weeks and they'll be back at your door. And I have so many clients like that they're like, I don't want to change my lifestyle at all. And I'm like, well, that's totally fine. Just know that I will have to do your shoulder treatment every 6 months to every year, 2 or 3 times, to really remove that scar tissue that you're choosing to bind over that area constantly because of your diet and lifestyle. And they're okay with that. But that's okay with me too, because I have to allow people to be happy in their own chaos, and I'm not here to heal anyone. They're here to heal themselves. But it's all the pieces of the puzzle. There's not me just giving you a tidbit. And that's why the practitioners that I train are master practitioners. And they're going to go out and they're going to say, why are you thinking like that? Because I'm going to look into your thought process a little bit. I'm going to say, okay, that's how you eat. Let's adjust these things. Maybe this would be better for you. Nutraceutical-wise, I think I would recommend this. And then now that you've been doing a perfect day for a little bit, you've buffered down the inflammation in your body, let's go in there and remove the scar tissue that you've built up. If somebody comes to me and they are overloaded with toxins and I can say that they are on their way to stage 4 inflammation or even worse, I'm going to say no. Until you do a perfect day for at least 30 days, I won't work on you because your body is too inflamed and I'm just bringing inflammation to the area at this point. So it's about constantly being that mindful practitioner. Any other questions, you guys? Okay, so I'm going to let the pelvic girls come up and take it away. So they're going to go over the pelvic course. Thank you, guys. Adjust it a little bit. Maybe put the whole thing back a little bit.
Back?
Closer.
Live.
Oh. Live.
Hi. Oh, good evening. I'm Serena. Hi. Nice to meet you. Wow, many people here. Both men and women. Great. You can bring messages back to your wives and your partners and share the truth with them about pelvic health. Amazing. I'm Serena. I am one of the practitioners at Dr. Detox Brave Heart Nation. I've done the 3 courses with Daryl, and I've been with him from Ixtapa from November 21st during COVID, and learned a lot throughout my journey with him. But before I came along to Daryl's course, I had been a Pilates and a Yin Yoga teacher. So I learned what I had, and what Sage had talked about, the Wolfe Non-Surgical, totally resonate with what I teach and what I'm so happy to have put together, the pelvic course for this Brave Heart Nation group. Many have asked, what is this pelvic course? It's basically, what prompted me to do this was, I'm going to read something which Daryl wrote in his book. he wrote this: over 33 million women in North America suffer from chronic pelvic pain. Why have women accepted this nagging and even excruciating pain as a normal way of life? Simply, as Sage had mentioned, indoctrination. We have all been programmed to serve the needs of corporate America. Stabbing pain in the pelvis is not normal. Prolapse, urine leakage, and painful lovemaking is not normal. When I read this, I said, this is something which I have to put together for the people I know, the people I love, to help them realize that pelvic pain is not normal. What are the three major surgeries that goes on that cause this pelvic pain, that will bring on this pelvic pain? The first one we have is cesarean. I went through 2 cesareans, so I know very well what I'm talking about. If I knew what I knew now, then I would have said, I don't need to do the cesarean. The doctor told me that I had to do an emergency C-section because my baby had the umbilical cord around her neck. Now, if I knew that there is a way I could have done this and unwrapped that umbilical cord around her neck, or just breathe, or do the perfect day lifestyle and all that, this may not have happened. So again, knowledge is power. Knowing the right stuff before, it's amazing. So, and then my second child's birth was, he said, you have an inverted pelvis. Inverted pelvis. So my pelvis goes this way instead of that way. So my baby was in a transverse position and he cannot be birthed naturally. No, that's not true. Now I know that's not true. Now I know he can be switched around and I could calm myself, or I could just do a perfect day lifestyle, or look at what I'm doing to change this whole position. And I know there are nurses and there are practitioners who can turn the baby around for a natural delivery. So there are many things we can do. So all these things prompted me to think about this. What he said is, all this is not normal. So there are ways for us to heal themselves. This is when I realized that what I've learned in this Doc of Detox, Brave Heart Nation, New World Practitioners course, and the Wolfe Non-Surgical. What an amazing course. The first course I felt sick. The second course, because I was working too much on my body, I punished myself. Doing too much in a short time is also not good for your body. You bring on pain to yourself. That's another thing that we have to also learn and accept, and take stages of learning in stages, and absorbing, and then healing ourselves in small bites, and not trying to do 10 days of intensive healing and only to fall back down again. And then it takes another whole cycle for me to get back up. But that's all my fun learning journey. And then the second course and then the third course, I realized this amazing Wolfe Non-Surgical ties in so well with what I know in the Pilates and the Yin Yoga world. And my Yin Yoga practice was more about, besides Yin Yoga, I studied under Thomas Meyer, and I studied under Eric Franklin. So I had all this knowledge that I suddenly realized, wow, I've come to the right place to put all my knowledge together to deliver this course. So when I did this course in Ixtapa, the number of people who came to their own realization that I have neglected myself. I have neglected me, my body, my pelvis region. I had no idea. So the pelvis is such an important part of our body. Every issues come from weak pelvis. Because we poop in our pelvis, we do not excrete well. So what are the 4 causes of pelvic issues? We have trauma, whichever way. It could be childhood trauma, it could be anything, it could be any kind of trauma. Even falling off a tree is a trauma. So we have 4 reasons why we have pains, And then one of the that Daryl said was, okay, let me just share this with you guys. Someone wrote this quite well. Okay, she mentioned, she said, this is a doctor whom I work with who is a gynecologist. She said, is infection, inflammation, and surgeries, trauma, and mechanical. So they say that we are born with this alignment in our body. But is that really true? Many times, this alignment can be fixed as we get older, and when we change our lifestyle, or when we are born, our parents feed us a certain kind of food. So we eat, and then our bodies adjust to how our lifestyle is. But as we get older, in a course like this course, I realized that when I was a child, I was fed food that is not good for my body. But when I learned that I can change my life as I got older, each time I'm not a meat eater, I'm more of a vegetarian. I noticed that when I eat more healthy food, my body feels better. So we can always change whatever we've been indoctrinated in our life, especially for our self-healing. So in this pelvis course, what the difference between, okay, let me get back. Many ask me, what is so different about this pelvis course? You can find many pelvis courses online, other therapies that teaches it. But the difference with this one is I've put in together what I learned from the Brave Heart Nation school and what I learned from the Eastern school of pelvic health. So the Tao way of energy healing and Daryl's way of whole life practitioner. So in this course, we teach you how to get in tune with, take the energy source from energy, and how to get in tune with your body, and to listen to your body and observe your body, and accept your body as you are, the way it is, the way you're created, and give gratitude to all your organs and your glands through an inner smile meditation. And then you accept the body as you are, and then you work on it within yourself. You do not look at anyone else, you compare only yourself. You look at yourself and find the alignment within yourself. And you observe, during the meditation, and you observe how your body feels. You give gratitude from the top, from your crown, all the way to your root chakra. So we deal with all the chakras, which we call this the dantian, the three. So we deal with the mind, the pineal glands, the heart, and the pelvis region, the root chakra. So the womb is where everything happens. Life is created. We call this the gate of life and death in the Tao world. And here is where creativity, we say the sexual power, energy here, sexual energy is the most powerful energy in your whole body. And it's up to you to know how to transform this energy into healing energy. It's up to you to know how to transform this energy into amazing creative energy for healing, for vitality and radiance, for youth, to regenerate yourselves, to regain your health, to be able to master, have dreams come true, all kinds of stuff, all from here. But from stressful lifestyle, from doing too much, eating too much, spending too much time with the drinking, from spending too much time doing things that does not heal or regenerate our body, we neglect ourselves. And for many women, we say, there's the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we teach, in this course, we teach self-cultivation. We teach you how to, self-cultivation. You do not need a partner. Excuse me, man, I'm sorry. We don't need you. We are able to function by ourselves without you guys. We know how to do it. So we cover that. We share that with you.
Okay, you're done.
Ooh, it's getting hot, man. But so this is what we teach. But I don't want to talk too much because Simran has a couple of things that she wants to share with us. And if you have any questions about the course, I'm happy to. Before I hand it over, I want to let you know, every woman walking on this beautiful earth, must do a healthy pelvis course. Every practitioner, every teacher, every therapist, if you want to be a better therapist, you want to be a better practitioner, you want to be able to connect with your clients better through energy healing, through Wolfe Non-Surgical, through whole life course, whatever. Even if you're a meditator, even if you teach yoga, you teach Pilates, I recommend you do a course like this because you don't have to come to me or to Brave Nation. You can go to any courses, but this is the best one because we put the two, the East and the West, together, and you can take from this whole program what resonates best with you. And we have a whole series of exercises which we do. I teach things that I call it yin yoga for pelvic restoration. So I tweak it a little bit for the benefit of this course. And you don't have to do everything in there, but you can pick one or two that works with you. And like I said, pelvic health is not a one-time fix-it. Lifetime maintenance. You don't do it today. I do this course today. I'm fine. I'm healthy. I can when I close my legs. No, it's lifetime maintenance. You have to keep working at it. It doesn't have to be 4-hour hard work. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes throughout the day. We tell you what to do, how to do it. Squeeze and release throughout the day. It's amazing. And with an inner smile, the power comes back to you slowly but surely. So we have powerful nutraceuticals in the Brave Heart Nation. And in the course, before you come, we recommend you get some of the products from the Dr. Detox store. The products that we use, my dear partner here can tell you how amazing the product is for the course. And she and I, we've all used it. And I think sometime in 2022, I think early when I did my first vaginal infusion, I was amazingly healed from it, from a urinary tract infection I had, which I had no idea that something like this could have helped. So I then came online and talked about it and was so happy to share that message. And today, every lady, everyone in the course had used it. And I think the magic between the vaginal infusion and I need to also let you know that I brought in the energy egg. You guys know what the energy egg is, right? So they call it the yoni egg. So I combine the Western with the energy egg energy egg insertion with the vaginal infusion. Ladies, be prepared. You will never be the same again. And men, be prepared for your woman to be amazing and more beautiful than you ever thought she could ever be. So this is a very powerful class. This is amazing. This is the icing on the cake from the whole life. Totally. Some people have asked me, do I do it before the whole life course or do it after? It does not matter because it will help you either ways. If you can do it after, because it will help you to understand the anatomy, your pelvic, after the Wolfe Non-Surgical works so well together with this course. The pelvic clearance, the pelvis region, when having taught this course and done the Wolfe Non-Surgical, I've now been doing a lot of pelvic clearance in the Wolfe Non-Surgical. Excuse me, the phone is ringing. So Sorry. Anyway, so the pelvic course, the Wolfe Non-Surgical that I did, has helped me with this course as well. And we will cover a little bit of this in the pelvic course, where we will work on each other to help you understand the pelvic region. And if you've done the course, then you can work on somebody, and then the person who has not done the course, who's receiving the treatment, will understand, wow, this Wolfe Non-Surgical course is good. I have to take the course. So it works both ways. So it doesn't matter. But if you don't have time to do the Wolfe Non-Surgical because it's just past, jump on board, come and do the pelvis course now, go to the Wolfe Non-Surgical course after. You will have amazing realization, amazing learning as well. So it's not a problem. Is there any question before Simon talks about the nutraceuticals? Any question on the course? Who is taking the course in this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So we have 2 ladies over there, and a lady over there, and 2 behind, and 3. Wow. Come on over and join us. If you are thinking about it, think no more, because this is the course. You'll be amazed. And I think you will really find it amazing, because we've had a few amazing testimonies from the ladies before. And we had a lady who never had done anything for herself, and she was amazed. And she's still healing, recovering, discovering herself, learning. And the faces in people after day 2 and day 3, the eyes, it's just, they light up. You discover your inner radiance and outer glow from working with yourself. You play with yourself. You have fun with yourself. We stress the importance of my me time. This is my time for me. Time for me to take care of myself, discover myself, learn about myself, know what I truly want, where I want to go, what I want to do. And I rule myself. No one tells me what to do. I am my own boss. I am here is the command center. And no one else can tell me what to do. Like I said, self-cultivation, who needs anybody else? It's self. So it's loving self for healing, for self-healing and self-empowerment. This is very important, and it's something which we want to let the whole world know. If nothing else, next generation, we want them to come on with less need for cesarean, less need for hysterectomy. Cesarean, hysterectomy, and myopectomy. What are these surgeries? We don't need them. We can live without them. But we only can live without them if we know the truth. And it's time we let the young people. She is such a blessed little girl, young lady. She's only 25 and she knows so much. So her and the next people down her generation will have all this knowledge and empowerment, and they can bring on to the next generation. And the future is in their hands. So we want to make sure that this generation will carry on this pain-free pelvic world for us. Right? Yes. So, thank you. One more big thing before I go. Simran wants to share this, and I want her to share it with us, because Dr. Detox store has some amazing products. And personally, I have tried many other products. Many, and some of them are super expensive. But I come back to the Dr. Detox store because their products, every one of them I found very helpful, very useful, and true to the promise that they deliver. They deliver, basically. So the most powerful thing I found immediate healing was the vaginal infusion. And Daryl always says, if it heals you from taking it in your mouth, how about this way? Look at it. It does not have to go through anywhere else, does not have to go through the digestive tract. I will not say any further. I will let Simran carry on with it. Simran, you tell us how we help.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, as Serena was saying, being a woman and having a vagina is very powerful because the healing properties that it's so much faster because, yeah, it's 4 feet and then it's in your sacred womb and can heal you that much faster. Some of the products we use are the Silver Bullet Gel Coconut Oil C60, Hemp C60, Silver Bullet Solution, frankincense, and frankincense. I don't know if I'm missing any. I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iodine, yeah.
The iodine is used separately.
Yeah, the iodine you would put in first and wait about 5 minutes, and then you can put the rest in. It works better on its own. But yeah, the first time I ever did an infusion, I was also amazed. I did 3 days in a row, and I didn't, just the healing that when you don't even realize or think anything's wrong, but then you do these things, you see the difference, and it's truly amazing. Yeah. And for me, my age, I'm more so doing this as like prevention because I haven't had kids, I haven't had any surgeries or anything, so I hope to be able to touch the younger girls and like get them to understand that this is very important and you need to pay attention. And some of my friends have been to many doctors and they have no idea what's wrong with them, or say you're too young to get this surgery for us to know for sure, so they're left wondering. And my one friend is like, I feel like I don't even know who I am, and it's like it's sad, but at the same time they have to decide to take massive personal action and take the courses to learn about themselves. So
yeah, your friend who's been to doctors, this is the problem here. Misdiagnosis. Misdiagnosis is a very major issue by doctors. So any pelvic issues, my recommendation, try the natural way first. Go for the vaginal infusion first thing. It still hurts you, do it 2 times a day. It still bothers you 3 times a day. 3 times a day, every day for 2 weeks, vaginal infusion. You will heal. Of course, what goes in the mouth is also important. If you keep eating white sugar, white flour, the yeast infection is never going to go away. So the perfect day lifestyle is important. With the right infusion. From a misdiagnosis, what happens is that you may be directed to a surgery, directed to a medication, antibiotics, and all that will trigger off a domino effect for pelvic collapse, and you get prolapses. Then as you get older, we don't regenerate as fast as we age. We're all meant to die eventually, so why don't we do things to prevent or to slow down the aging process with the right lifestyle, with the 12 living steps, perfect lifestyle, perfect day, etc. So it's important that I'm not saying don't go to any doctors. Doctors are very necessary for emergencies, but for pelvic issues, watch what you do, how simple things like a quick flick of a hand moving quite could misalign something. So that's when Wolfe Non-Surgical comes along. A basic tool like a clapper or a shot glass. Those things can help. I've worked with many women whom I said, have you tried the clapper? They call me, oh my God, I had no idea the clapper is amazing. There you go. You clap away the pain, but when there's pain, don't run away from it. Face it head on with a clapper, with your shot glass, with an elbow, call a Wolfe Non-Surgical specialist with a vaginal infusion. Coffee enema. We do all that in this practice, in this course, we cover all these. So if you've done the whole life course, you've done the Wolfe Non-Surgical, the pelvic course is a must do because to help you heal, traumas come we are beings that create issues and store them without realizing it. And then we go about our life wondering what's wrong with us when we create crap down here and we store them and we keep them on until we cannot function. Then we go for surgery, and so we start collapsing downhill. So, but once you have the ability to heal yourself with the right tools, you don't need any surgery. You won't need any doctors. You just heal yourself. You do yourself. Checking in with the whole alignment, checking into yourself. In the exercises we do, we teach you how to observe yourself. We teach you the meditation. We have amazing, you just, I cannot say anymore because you just have to come and join us, right?
Yes.
I mean, this young lady, I looked at her and said, what pelvic issues do you have? Why are you in this course? I had no idea young girls also have pelvic issues because it's just life, it's just living. Life creates all that stress.
There's a lot of stress nowadays.
Stress, which like Sis just said, was the biggest one, stress, right? Surgeries and stress, double S. But anyway, and then now that she knows, she has in her handbook how to heal herself without having to go through that. I went through menopause. I went through chemotherapy and radiation. What did I end up with? Vaginismus. Freaking dry vagina. Nothing to get inside it. Not even my day finger. Holy moly, what's going on here? Right? But the right infusion, the right therapy, I have the best sex in my life. Right? It's normal. Look at my husband, he smiles. It's amazing. The vaginal infusion is freaking amazing. It's fantastic. And with the energy ache in you, the energy is boundless. In the course previously, we had people who had no idea. She's like coming in, oh, I'm tired. Day 2, she came in, she said, oh my God, I have so much energy, I don't know what to do with myself. So, I said, have fun, go and dance, come on, dance. And some women have such tight pelvis, they don't know how to rock it. We teach them how to move this thing, shake it about, you know? And it's a lot of, it's fun. You have so much fun. So those of you who are still thinking about it, don't think anymore. It's happening in 2 days. Come join us because we really will have a lot of fun. Am I right?
Yeah. Serena's really good at making it a fun class, but also helps you to really get in touch with yourself. And a lot of, in the first course that I took in Mexico, there were a lot of older women and they were taught that it was more taboo, so they weren't comfortable really doing anything. But then by day 3, it was pretty amazing transformation. So.
When is what class?
I want to share something.
The 26th to the 28th in Florida.
So here in Stuart.
Right here.
Here in Stuart. Nobody has asked about the question on the energy. Any questions on the energy? Anybody has any questions about the course? Ask away.
Oh, I've been taking this course for 3 weeks. I'm just so excited to see what it's about.
Oh, okay.
She's in the class. She'll be in the class.
Yeah, I'm in the class.
Right. Do you have any questions you want to ask before the class?
Well, we're just going to be doing vaginal infusions in the room, and right? Like, what does it entail?
Okay. So we give you the option of doing the infusion in the room or as a hormone on day 1 by yourself. So we make the infusion first for you to use it as a lubricant because we try not to buy outside products because I don't know what goes in their products.
Yeah, exactly.
I know for sure Dr. Detox Silver Bullet Gel is the best, and it's with the bright eyes and with the frankincense. I don't recommend frankincense for people who have had traumas in their life, sexual traumas. If you know that you had some sexual trauma when you were a child, when you're younger, I recommend lavender. It's more calming Because frankincense can trigger that incident and you burst into tears and you have a traumatic reaction, which I have seen happen to a couple of people. So the more of these courses we do, the more we learn and the more we can share with the next coming batch. And I'm so grateful for this learning and sharing. And then we used, apart from vaginal infusion, what I think goes together is the energy aid, which we use for muscle
Activation.
Muscle activation. Thank you, Sage. Thank you, Dr. Sage Wolfe. You're one of the right words, yeah. So for muscle activation, it goes through vaginal canal and it helps you to connect with your vagina.
It's because you're learning how to like control your internal. Like we go to the gym every day and we work out our external body. So why don't we work out the internals?
Right.
So
Like if I was a guy, I'd be. If I was a guy. If I was a girl, I hope I'm a guy. If I was a girl, I would be in this course immediately. If I had some kind of other port, being a guy, that I could train something like this, I would be doing something like this. Because it's like, why not learn to just make your body stronger?
taking your vagina to the gym. In one of my wonder days, I said, have you taken your vagina to the gym today? This is what we do. In this course, we do that. And we do a lot of work. And you could get very tired, but you do everything according to your own pace. Like I said, you don't look anywhere else. Some of them will be saying, she's having a fun time. How come I'm not having a fun time? You may take longer. It's okay. Anything is okay. Everything is within your comfort zone. It's great. So another thing is menopause. Menopause, women think, oh, I've reached menopause. I'm not going to have fun. I can't have sex. I can't have BS. Don't believe them. Menopause is great. If you have followed the perfect lifestyle, I never had a day of hot flashes. I never had a day of any symptom when my menopause came. But what messed me up was the radiation and the chemotherapy that I had voluntarily walked to the doctor and had done, trod my way down to the hospital every day for 33 freaking days, right? And but that was the devastating fact, and that was the truth. I thought I knew. I didn't know. I again went to the doctors. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to your body. Your body knows best. And I said that our body is amazing. It heals itself. Cancer is inflammation. Let's face the fact. It's inflammation. We can bring it down by ourselves, within ourselves. So, menopause is not a problem. It was never a problem. My grandmother had menopause. I never hear her complain about hot flashes and anything like that. Did you in those days? No. The modern medication, modern lifestyle, modern doctors, I don't know, they make menopause an issue, like it's a disease. It's not a disease. It's just life. Life goes on. So, you don't have to stay dry there when you reach menopause. Continue work from this. You'll never get to the dry spell. There will never be a drought in your vagina. Let's put it that way.
Never be a drought.
So,
I need to write that down.
Question.
Is there ever any guy worthy enough to at least give his wife the egg?
I beg your pardon?
I'm just saying,
What's his question?
You want to give her a gift?
Is
Is
there,
there a guy worthy enough to give his wife an egg?
the egg to you.
Can a guy or husband give the wife?
Yes, you can. And then give her braveheartnation.com pelvic restoration and disease prevention masterclass link with the egg. Put the course on in the egg, and she will sign up for she can sign up for the course. Trust me, that's the course you want your wife to be on.
Yeah, just the kids that keeps giving her.
Are there any other questions? This is getting very hot in here. Yes, question.
So aside from taking this course for myself, when we've completed our training with you, are we able then to coach other women in our lives for, guiding them
Yes.
to their own self-healing through these methods?
Yes, you can. You can, first of all, heal yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Once you heal yourself, yes. And I can see, I think you will be able to, you will be amazing. Yeah. Yes. I think you can, I know you can. Once you do the course, you work within yourself. I'm around. Call me with anything you need to know about the energy egg and how it works. But you don't need to. I think many of them who've done the course are healing themselves on their own. We just had a message from somebody who said, oh my goodness, I'm able to have the egg in me and dig a pool. Wow. She's a pool and you have the egg in you. That's amazing. The egg has a pool and she's a pool. That's incredible. Wait. She now, then she graduated to, I had the egg in, and I had a pool, and I had the egg in, and I could do a coffee enema. Enema with the egg inside.
Wow. No way.
That's great.
That's great. And she had one of the weakest pelvis. She could not even have the egg in the first time.
Wow.
So it's magic.
So we will learn also about the different size eggs.
Yes.
And all that.
If when on the day itself, or if you have not bought your egg, I think if you have bought the eggs, they come in 3 sizes, right? Bring all 3 sizes. You can play with them. It's your time, fun time. Oh, smaller, too smaller. I'm bigger, I'm stronger. But the smaller one is harder to work with. It may be easy to go in, but it's harder to work with because you have to bring the egg up and down against the vaginal wall. I won't say any more because then they won't be attending the course. We're teaching them here, right? So, yeah. But anyway, that's what we will be doing in the course. Bring your 3 eggs, and then you can explore it for yourself. Dina, are you in the course? Mm-hmm. Don't think too long.
Spot here, huh?
Hey, this is your time, girlfriend. Come on over. And if you want to be a good practitioner and want to connect with your clients, this is energy work. This is really energy work. If you're not aligned, the egg will not stay in. Okay? If you're not aligned, the egg will not stay in. So then you have to keep working on yourself before you can be effective on your clients. How do you heal others when you can't heal yourself, when you're not healed? So, to be an effective practitioner, I would say all Detox practitioners who are listening on, you all will benefit from taking this course. Each and every one of you. Even if you've done the previous courses before with in Ixtapa, this is a whole new ball game. This is a much different course. We're dealing with more energy and complete full alignment. We're not here for sex 101, how many orgasms I can have, how many men I can go off with and I can last. No, none of that. It's all for you, for your self-healing, for your own empowerment within yourself. Okay? Any more questions?
I actually got the email the day before yesterday, and I ordered everything, but it's taking
It's
a
okay.
while.
For the course, this course, I do have some eggs.
Okay,
I
but
got
what
one.
about the other nutraceuticals?
I have extra.
Amazing. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry. And you,
The lunch. You can end.
okay, done? Finish. Thank you for joining us. Have a beautiful evening.